Greetings, opera lovers. Live from Bloomfield, Connecticut, it's Rona Sutton. In the past, you've seen me make little online reviews of operas that I've seen live at the Met, of HD performances, and even sometimes of something I've caught on YouTube or live streamed from Europe. And today, it's a first. I'm going to review an opera for which I am the president of the company. Yes, OperaConnecticut's production of Rigoletto just had its premiere here in West Hartford. It was a grand event, and believe it or not, many people wanted to know how it went. And so for those people who are so curious, and for the rest of you who are just tuning in perhaps for the first time, here's the story. To start from the very beginning, as it is said in The Sound of Music, 2 years ago, Opera Connecticut hired Nelson Martinez, the Cuban-American baritone, to sing Baron Scarpia. Well, he's a phenomenon, and since that time, he has made his debut at the Met in some smaller roles and covering for major roles. And he actually performed in a performance of La Traviata singing The Elder Germont, replacing Thomas Hampson. He was fantastic. I heard it live streamed through Sirius Radio. Isn't the age of the internet fantastic? So, knowing what a superb singer Nelson is, somehow, through sheer luck, we were able to get him back for Rigoletto, an opera around whom we created this just for Nelson. I know my grammar is very poor right now, but ignore that. So we hired Nelson, and then, of course, now we had to get a really first-class Duke and Gilda to go with him, because you couldn't just get people starting out with their newly minted voices right out of conservatory. We needed people who could really hold their own against such a phenomenal voice. And returning to our company in the role of the Duke was Tao Pupua, who also was Mario Cavaradossi in that production of Tosca. Rounding out the three principals is someone who we heard at auditions. Her name is Sarah Tucker. It's a name to watch. Later this year, she'll be making her debut in 2 larger companies. So how did everything work out? Well, here's the story. The lights went down and the orchestra started to play. The orchestra, by the way, are made up of members of the Hartford Symphony. They are tremendous. The conductor for this opera is the conductor for all our operas, our artistic director, Doris Kosloff. And if ever there was an opera she was born to conduct, it has to be Rigoletto. It's an opera I know fairly well. First of all, it's the first opera I saw, and I've since found out that for many people, it's the first opera they ever see. Doris has conducted this opera many times in many productions, and I believe she and Nelson have done it together. So we already had a great start between conductor and orchestra. And then some of the minor characters start populating the stage. And then finally, Rigoletto enters. And when Nelson came out, his voice is so rich, gravelly, has so much gravitas to it. It was wonderful to hear. And not only does he have that rich sound in the great middle of the Verdi baritone voice, he's got stentorian high notes and gorgeous low notes. He is also a superb actor. You really feel his anguish during this opera. Also, you feel his love for his daughter. The Duke, played by Tao Pupua, was stupendous as well. He has those high notes like nobody. He's just got great big clarion high notes, and he has the rest of the role too. So he and Nelson were a formidable pair. Coming in later, his daughter Gilda. Light and bright, young and naive. She was, our Gilda, Sarah Tucker, was the complete embodiment of what a Gilda should be. And her singing was so plaintive, just beautiful. This is a gorgeous voice. She has an extremely rich lower end to her register, and she can pop out all those high notes very well. It's not one of those little squeaky soprano voices. It's very rich. Rounding out the cast, we had some local people. Robert Bearfield was Monteroni, and Lorenzo Rotaro was Sparafucile. Also in our cast was Caitlin McKechnie. I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name, McKechnie. She was Maddalena. We also had students filling in all the smaller roles. And Ian Pomerantz, a student at the graduate school of Hart School of Music, was our Marullo. All in all, a great cast. We were directed by Sondra Kelly, who in the past sang many mezzo roles at the Metropolitan Opera House. So you can see we had a glorious pedigree, and everyone came through. The end result was we sold out virtually both nights. I think we had 8 empty seats on Friday. We had a few empty seats on Sunday. They were no-shows. The audience spontaneously rose to their feet at the end of each performance, and as I greeted the audience as they left the theater, they were happy people that they had come to our production of Rigoletto. I hope for those of you who are within driving distance or train or bus distance that you will consider coming to one of our other productions. In the summer, we have a great contest. It's called American Opera Idol. It's so much fun. We've had wonderful participants and outstanding winners. Next year, we are going to be doing Puccini's La Bohème. I hope I see you sometime in the near future. Thank you for indulging me in reviewing my own little opera